So we're going to take off this paint with heat. So there's a couple of different levels of paint here. I'm going to start out right here. See it's starting to bubble up. And I'm moving the heat gun back and forth and kind of angling it towards the direction that I'm going, because I want to kind of preheat the area that I'm going to be removing the paint from. See, there's a nick there, so I'm not sure if that's a nick in the paint or a nick in the wood. We're going to know here in a second. Got more heat in the middle, so I missed that side. But I can always go back. I can always go back and just heat that up. So that was a little bit of a nick in the wood, but I can probably sand that out. But here the part that's missed, I'll go and heat that up and just clean that off. Now it's all gone. And then the way I get rid of that is I go to the back, because I'm not really worried about the damage in the back, and just wipe it off and put it on the floor. Then if I want to come and start sideways, you can see it starting to bubble up. And I kind of pull back a little bit once it starts to bubble up and get heat on that bottom of the molding right there, because I want to remove it from the bottom of the molding and the flat surface at the same time. There's another nick, but I think that's paint. Start right in the middle or wherever you want, because you're just heating up the paint. It's taking off multiple levels at one time. Kind of relaxing.
Well, I said about using some sort of stripper to do this instead. Explain your reasoning why you didn't want to go that route.
For one thing, the stripper has smells to it. And I have some natural stripper, or some stuff that's not, I guess it doesn't have all the smells and all that as much, but I really don't want to deal with chemicals. I want to do it kind of the natural way. And this is coming off relatively easy. So that's why I decided, I started to just sand it to see, you know, if it would come off that way, and that didn't work at all. So I pretty much went right into using heat. And I've done this before, like on exterior windows. Remove paint this way. It's relatively easy. You just don't want to keep the heat moving so that you don't burn the wood. Sticky like that. So you just have to get the paint off and then go back kind of with a fresh, a little bit more of a fresh putty knife, and then that got most of that, and it's still smearing around a little bit. So if I let that cool down, I have a utility knife in my back pocket, and then I just cut off it dries pretty quick, or it gets hard pretty quick. So I just get the putty knife or utility knife and scrape off the paint, just like that. And now whenever I go and strip more, then I'm not leaving all the residue behind quite as much. Plus, all this stuff that I just took off, it's really brittle and it's sticking up. So I can take the putty knife without any heat and just get a lot of the excess off. You just be careful not to angle it in too hard. You kind of want to.
Otherwise, you'll gouge the workpiece.
Yep, I'm not pushing it all. I'm really just rubbing. So there's no pressure down. I'm just rubbing it back and forth and using this kind of as a sander.
And the heat does most of the work.
Yeah, the heat does the work whenever you're doing whenever you're using the heat gun.
Any consideration for what color it's probably going to get stained once you have it stripped down and sanded?
Most of the time, whenever I'm redoing any furniture, I wait on that until it's stripped, because we don't know what it looks like underneath because of the darkness here of all the layers of paint and all the, you know, whatever. I think this almost looks like a stain or something. So I kind of wait. I like the way that the wood looks behind right now. So kind of thinking ahead a little bit, I would, right now I would say probably stain and kind of keep it this color that you see in the that you see coming out. But if there's all kinds of defects in the wood, then I might need to go with the paint. If you come around to the back, it looks like I think this might be one of the original paint colors, is this green. If you go back to where I was just taking that off, see here's the same color green, and then somebody painted it white. Right here you can see that the white's on top of the green, and then they painted it this purple color after. So I'd rather go with the stain like that if I can make it work. If not, I might go with one of those two colors, that like an antique white or that green, what it was originally, just to kind of keep it what it was. I'm not sure, you know. I would say the green is probably what it was originally, or it was this wood color originally and then somebody painted it the green.
So once you do get all this stripping done and you start sanding it down, I imagine you'll start with what? Do you think a 40 or 60 grit and then work your way up?
I shouldn't have to go too like down to a 40 because I have a lot of the stuff off. It depends. I think the residue is going to come off pretty easy. So I might go a little bit higher because I don't want to, stretch the wood up too much and be too aggressive. So I might try and start out with like a 120. And then if that doesn't work, then I'll go to a lower number and kind of go down however far I need to go to make sure that there's a clean surface.
Is this something you think you'll end up sanding by hand, or are you going to break out the palm sander for this?
No,
or
it'll be a
something?
palm sander.
Okay.